you are in. This is Big Girl Diary. Okay, I got a good one for you. Now, this may be a little, how can I say, taboo. Well, not taboo, but maybe off the beaten path, maybe. And I'm gonna put big girls into it because I gotta say, big girls, we do get love, but the love that we get is a little bit, let's say, a little to the left. Now, yes, I am hard on big girls. Yes, I am. But however, with what's going on with P. Diddy, I would like to give a different perspective because a lot of times we have a tendency to view big girls in a different way than we do view skinnier women. That right there is a true thing. And I'm just going to jump out the window today on this one. I'm just going to jump out the window. And some people may get even angry with me, but you can get angry with me, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It's just a societal thing. Let me see. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit more my light. Okay. Now, everything that occurred to Cassie, imagine being chased down a hallway of a hotel and having P. Diddy put his hands on a big woman like that. Now, taking her and just throwing her down like that. Well, he would have to put a lot more effort into throwing her down. But, okay. Abuse is abuse, whether if you're skinny or big. And it's no laughing matter. I'm not making light of anything. No, I'm not. I'm not making light of anything. But if that happened to a big girl, imagine Cassie 250 pounds. No. Let's make her a triple whopper. Imagine if Cassie were 300 pounds and P. Diddy was fooling around with a woman that was 300 pounds and he was putting mitts on her. Would there be an outrage? Would people be upset if he were to do that to a 300-pound woman in a hotel where everyone can see? Now, keep in mind, this is not the first time well, let me see. All right, I'll put it like this. Amber Heard over in Israel put the mitts to, what's her name? Eve Barlow. But that was in Israel, and they were all out, and it was like, I mean, she really wailed on her, but I digress on that point. I just wanted you, hey, how you doing? How you doing? But just imagine if P. Diddy did that to a woman that was 300 pounds. Would people be upset? Or would people say, you know, she got some weight on her. She got some weight. She could go ahead and two-piece him. She could most definitely handle P. Diddy. I mean, because Cassie is real small. Maybe 110 pounds, possibly. But would people be upset? That's the thing. Please comment. And don't look at me being big and say, I don't want to comment. No. Just write down what you feel. Do you think, and please be honest. Be honest. Because there is most definitely a different mindset when it comes to stuff like that. It's like women who get kidnapped. They're never big women. They're never big women. Because the only thing, what do they say? The only thing a big woman has to do is sit down. That's awful, but it's true. But let me get back on topic. Would P. Diddy, would the feminists be upset? Would other groups of people be upset if a big woman were to get abused the way Cassie was abused? Okay, true. Treat others the way you want to be treated, but we have to be honest here. There is most definitely a different mindset when it comes to certain groups. Like if a smaller man were to get by a woman, they would say, "Oh, chalk it up. It's a woman. What's wrong with you?" Yeah, yeah. Would there be an issue? Would 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 P Diddy get amount of backlash that he's getting now? Would there women's groups be coming out? Would you have stars coming out and say, "How dare you hit her"? Now, okay, what's her name? The woman who played in Precious. She's a big girl. She's a big girl. What if her husband was doing to her what P. Diddy did to Cassie? Would there be an outrage? Would her husband have a backlash? Would he have to apologize? If she were to able to escape and run away and then move on and find somebody else and then turn around and then sue him for the horrible things what he did, would there, let me do a poll. Let me see. Okay, that's not it. Okay, I'm trying to find a poll and I can't find it. But would there be? Now, there is a certain stereotype to where people believe, and I'm going to just simply say men. Men have a certain idea of what he wants a woman to look like. He wants her to be, what is it called? Kevin Samuels would say she has to be fit, feminine, beautiful, and what? Fit, feminine, beautiful, fit, feminine, beautiful, and so I can't think of it, but that was his thing, and he was promoting that in order to get a certain type of man, you had to have a certain type of body shape, and you had to be beautiful, and you had to be all of these things. Now, just okay. Now move that aside. Imagine if she wasn't any of those things. Just a regular, average woman that was overweight and that got with a billionaire somehow, and he was treating her the way Cassie was treated. She was forced to do the things that Cassie was doing. She had to go to those FOs and do all the things that Cassie had to do. Would there be outrage? I'm going to tell you no. There wouldn't be outrage at all. I don't believe so. And for that reason is that bigger women are looked upon as they can handle themselves physically because they have a lot of weight, and some bigger women can throw hands and deal with a man. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's true. And I just don't see that society would look upon as a bigger woman being abused like that. And it's like, hey, well, at least you got a man. You got somebody. Yeah, at least you got a man. You got somebody. You shouldn't even get whatever you can get because you can't get any better than that. And the man that you got, if he's abusive, then you're simply going to have to take it. You're going to have to take it because what are your options? And if so, lose weight and you will get all these different things will come out, but I just don't see the outrage. I mean, people are upset to the point to where Governor Hochul extended. She has a Cassie Ventura, no, Cassandra Ventura law to where it extends further of domestic violence, DV, and other types of crimes going along with that. Now, I'm not minimizing anything that Cassie been through. No, what she went through was terrible, horrible, and there are some people that have their own spin on it. I'm not even going down that road. Okay. You single big mama. Okay. All right. But just that aspect of it, because I haven't heard anyone talk about this, and I'm thinking, let me go ahead and talk about it. I'm a big girl, and let me go ahead and throw that out there and see if anyone would, say, yeah, no one would care. Or, yes, someone would care and then give their point of view on it. So I thought I would throw this out there. Okay. Darren, are you asking, am I single? What does that have to do with this? And I'm not deflecting. Wait a minute. Where is it? I wanted to. All right, right here. Well, I mean, big women, we most definitely have our pluses and minuses. Some people believe that big women are good in the kitchen, can cook, all that other stuff. And for the most part, yeah, that's true. But skinny women can most definitely cook. But I'm digressing from the point. The point is, would people be upset? Well, I'm glad you love big women. I'm glad you do. Now, let me do this poll. Okay. Okay, it's up. Yes or no? Do people care if big women are physically abused? Do people care? Because at first, I gotta be honest, at first, they thought that she was after a money grab. There was no evidence or for the masses to know that she was being DV'd like that, and that she was made to participate in certain things. Okay, I got it. Yes. People care. That's good. That makes me feel good that people care about big girls. All right. Because it was interesting, because earlier today I was having a conversation about this. And I was having some conversation. And I got to say, women were more brutal than men. Men were like, look, I'm just trying to get a little touching going on, You know how some men will go along to get along to make sure that he's not in bed by himself. He won't be sleeping alone. But women were like, no, no. Big girl, no. Big girls, no. Nobody don't care about big girls. You could go ahead and get, two-pieced and nobody cares. And like the guys didn't come out and say, well, no, they won't care. But they were saying, well, it's wrong, that, big girls shouldn't, that shouldn't even happen. But they never were definitive in saying, well, good. I'm glad thank you. That makes me feel that much better. You all do care if big women were getting abused. especially on the level the way Cassie was getting abused, because the way he took her and flung her down, she just laid still. A guy said, well, not a guy, no, wait a minute. Yeah, a guy did say that. He said, well, first, it's going to be hard pushing her down like that. You talk about a 300-pound woman pushing her down there the way he pushed Cassie down. He said, no, you can't do that to her. You got to take a lot of force. You got to back up, and then you got to run at her full speed to be able to. I'm like, that is. I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, no, you didn't say that. No, you didn't. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, no, you didn't say that. That is awful. Oh, you were, okay, you're pretty upset with me. But that's what was said. I'm just simply telling you what was said. Oh, yeah, he's definitely a fool. And he's probably single. That's why he possibly said that. I don't know. But I thought it was like, that is awful. I don't know whether he was saying that for shock value or just to be different, out of the box, and possibly being on my other channel politically incorrect. But I just was like, okay, I kind of asked for that. I should be asking a bunch of different types of people. But I was only talking to the people that were around me. Maybe I need to go to different parts of the city and ask people general questions. I think I have an idea. They're going to just simply say, well, no, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen to anybody. And big girls shouldn't be treated that way. But we got to keep in mind that we are in a society to where being fit, feminine, fabulous, and beautiful. And we do live in that society. We do live in a visual society, and we live in a time to where looks will gravitate to the guy that you get. Now, if you happen to get a guy that likes big women, and there are men out there that like big women, not all, but there are. But, one lady said something that was quite interesting, another content creator, and she said that P. Diddy, by getting, it seemed like that the way Cassie stated that he only treated her in that manner when he was drinking or in an altered state of mind using rugs. That's when that happened. And I thought, that's quite interesting. I thought that was an interesting point. And when she made those points was, through other content creators reading the lawsuit or the civil suit, saying that he was in that state of mind, and that's when the abuse occurred. I got to find a way to say it without getting dinged by YouTube. Now, translating that to big girls, I believe that how can I say this? Because I do believe that it does happen to big girls or big women. I do believe that. I don't know to what level, if it were on the level of a Cassie level to where you need your own a law named after you. But it's a hard one. It's most definitely a hard one to even look at, because you don't have a lot of big women coming out saying I'm being abused, coming out with lawsuits. This happened to me, and you need to pay me. I don't know if you can hear the fire trucks. It's like 12:24 in the morning, and I hear this. But I thought it would be an interesting topic. And I thought that using Cassie a, as a vehicle to start this conversation. Now, I'm looking at some of the comments. They they could take a pounding. Well, okay. Cassie most definitely took a pounding. She did, and I think by being bigger, I see why you say that. Um, Let me see what else. You sound like that guy. Carquito. I don't know what that is. Carquito. I don't know what that is. No, because big women like kicking. But now that I gotta say that. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Big women will throw. Okay, there are certain sector of women, big women, who would throw hands, just like smaller women who would throw hands. Now, bigger women would be more of a harder woman to abuse in certain ways, depending on the type of man that she gets with, if he's like that. Um, But yeah, bigger women will, throw the hands, will go with you toe to toe. You might be a skinnier guy. You might be able to um, beat her, but it wouldn't be on the level of Cassie type of, stomping on. No. Stomping on her, all that other. No. And I feel, as a bigger woman, I do feel bad for women who are in those situations, whom are with men that are like that. Now, whether if Cassie stayed with him because she actually loved him and believed that he could help her with her career, just like as big women get with their men because they love them. I don't know about helping with their career or whatever type of career they are in. Oh man, I mean, there's just so many different ways that this can go, but I mean, but I just, wait a minute, Darren, Puffy would be a victim if he was a big woman. Yeah. Well, okay, for me, yeah. Yeah. Because when I was younger, I used to box. I mean, yeah. But there are, Puffy would have, as gangster as he wanted to be, it would have been different if it were a big woman. And he knows, okay. No. Okay, how can I put this? People who abuse people know whom they can abuse. That's just period. Puffy knows that he can do that to a certain person. Now, he may have a certain level of issues up here, but it doesn't mean that he's stupid, okay? You know who you could do certain things to. Now, some big women will most definitely throw hands. He would most of be running for his life. Yeah, he would, and especially if a big woman really understands how to use her weight. And I'm not trying to trivialize anything, no, and it's coming out a little funny and a little comedic. I'm not trying to put it in that way. No, I'm not trying to at all, but it's coming out that way. But And I think that's one of the reasons why people really wouldn't care too much, because bigger women will most definitely find a way to protect themselves in that type of situation. So I don't think people would be outraged as far of that at all, or to a certain level. I mean, I don't see women's liberation groups coming out and say, "Hey, you know, she's a big girl and he did that to her, and you know, something needs to be done about it, and get him, and he needs to take money and give it to abused women's this and that." I just don't see that happening. I just don't. Darren, you're funny. Funny. Be running. But I'm not saying that all big women can throw hands. I'm not saying that. I'm not even trying to suggest that at, well, okay, kind of suggesting that. But yeah, but I made a reference to Amber Heard and Eve Bartlow. I mean, Amber Heard came out of the hotel in Israel. I don't know if she was in Tel Aviv or not, and she was just taking it to Eve. And there was no outrage. And there should have been. There should have been outrage, because I know I was outraged on that one. And looking at what happened to Cassie, that right there is outrageous. But the question is, would there be outrage if it were a big woman that P. Diddy was with? And I still come to the conclusion, no, not to that level, no. But that's all I really want to say on that. And I didn't mean to stay as long as I did. And this is just one of those videos just to see where you're going. This one of these videos where I'm just saying what's on my mind, and that was on my mind. And when I was talking to people earlier, I mean, I got some funny results. Just like Puffy would be a victim. You know, comments like that. But you know, it's just you know, it's just that, you know, big women, we have a lot more to overcome. We do. It's like you look at a smaller woman as a damsel in distress. And then you would see a big woman as, you can get your way out of that. Because I'm not picking, if you fall, I'm not picking you up. You're on your own. I mean, stuff like that. But, let's see. Okay, let me go ahead and close out this poll. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Everybody said yes, you know, they would be outraged. But let me ask you this one question. Let me divert it just a little bit, because I've been working a lot on Marilyn Manson, and I'm going to have to change the title. I've been talking a lot about Marilyn Manson and Evan Rachel Wood, and Evan Rachel Wood made a lot of accusations. Hey, Lexi, how you doing? And Evan Rachel Wood made a lot of allegations towards him. But I want to speak about one thing specifically, because I'm trying to find the information on it. And she said that she was assaulted by Marilyn Manson while making the video, while he was making the video Heart-Shaped Glass. And she said that he assaulted her in front of a room full of people while they were filming it. Now, I have a problem with that statement right there, which she said. I just don't see how that is possible at all, under any circumstances, to where you can have a room full of people that are in a venue that they had to get different licensing, different companies, all this insurance, this, that, and the other. If somebody falls down, and touches a piece of wood and gets a little piece of splinter. I mean, it's right. Now, everything, you have cameras there and everything is being timed, choreographed, it's very technical. And for her to say, he did that to me in front of everyone and no one stopped it. Now, I know they have this concept, believe all women. Believe all women no matter what. Now, does anyone think that a man, regardless of who he is, would be in a room with a whole bunch of other people while a woman is being sexually assaulted and did not do a thing? Would anybody stop it because he's Marilyn Manson? Would anybody stop it? Yeah. Yes. Because that right there is basically stating that men would allow other men to do anything he wanted because he had more money. No. No. Men are like, wait a minute. I have a daughter. I have a sister. I have a mother. And if she was working and a man were to do that, I don't give a darn who he is. He's going to meet these hands. He's going to meet these hands double time. Marilyn Manson, you know, they would have stopped it. He would have been, somebody would have called the police and there would have been arrest. Yeah, Lexi, that was pretty outrageous, you know, for the video. Yeah, and what I'm trying to find is behind the scenes of that video so that I can show how many people were there for her to make that statement. Yeah, someone would most definitely have stopped him. Because what she's basically saying is that I was there, that occurred, and people asked me if I was okay, and I said yes, but he went ahead and he sexually abused me and no one stopped it. Everybody was in the room and they saw it. Nah, the police would have been called. There would have, just imagine if that were to happen. Okay, let's say it was somebody else and that were to happen. It would have been stopped, police would have been called, he would have been gone to jail, been prosecuted, everything under the sun. Okay, even though the manner is a little freaky and still. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's really wild. Now, one person who admitted to that, and it wasn't even a sexual assault. It was Shirley MacLaine, and oh my goodness, he played in The Shining. I see his face. Oh my goodness, he played in The Shining. Jack, I can't think of his name right now. But back in the 60s, Shirley MacLaine said, thank you, AJ. He said, you know, she said, Jack Nicholson, thank you, Jack Nicholson. Shirley MacLaine said that they were doing a video, they were doing a movie, and it got really intense in a sexual way. And she said Jack, he always performed with no clothes on. And they got to a scene, and once they finished the scene, Shirley said, let's go ahead and do it. And she jumped on him. Now, if anyone who needed to be arrested should have been Shirley MacLaine for doing that. But sometimes that occurs, but not the way she said it. No. Not on a music video. No. Casting couch. Yeah, Shirley MacLaine. Woo, she was something. You ever read her stuff? Her really something. Very out there. But I just look at those two guys. P. Diddy and Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is just a lover type of guy, and P. Diddy is a violent type of guy. Ryan says, hello. I'm not sure what I've just stumbled onto, but Jesus loves each and every. You're right. You're right. He does, but we're talking about if big women. Okay, if Cassie were a big woman, then would there be public outrage? Okay, do I think Bill Cosby did it? Now, let's go ahead and look back at the time. That was the 60s were a completely different time. Hear me out here. The woman and how can I say this? You have to look at everything. Now, I was talking to my mother about it. My mother's 82, and I was an oops baby. She had me later on in life, but she reminds me, not late last night, right? And she said back at that time, she said young women were very, very loose. Now, at that time, there was the sexual revolution, the birth control pill. Women wanted their own identity. They didn't want to be under a man. They wanted to have their own life, and they wanted not their mother's life. So when I look at, especially the last one, the girl who was at the Playboy Mansion, no one ever stopped to say, wait a minute, she was 16 years old. What was she doing at the Playboy Mansion at the age of 16? It seems like everybody sort of pushed that aside. It's like that didn't matter. I'm like, that matters because she's 16. Now, if Bill Cosby, she said that she had a sexual encounter with him, and she said that, let me see. Yeah, old school. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. And my mother was saying is that you had little girls, and keep in mind at that time, life wasn't that easy. I mean, money wasn't really coming through the way it was, not until after the 60s, and then we still get a lot of money coming through from different countries. Manufacturers were really starting to take off. People start really making money. The war was calming down, and we were getting ready to go into another. I mean, there was a lot going on then, a whole lot. And at that time, how can I say, Quaaludes were an acceptable thing to do. People were taking it like aspirin, and people were being zonked out of their minds at that time. And keep in mind, young people were in those areas. She's 16. She was what did she say? She was a Playboy. She was a Playboy bunny. My thing was this: where were her parents? Where were her parents, and why did her parents allow her to do that? I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Now, do I think that Bill Cosby did those things? Yeah, I think he did. I think he did what many men did at that time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keep in mind the time era. And when I was talking to my mom about it, she just was like, well, I had to be in at a specific time. I just couldn't go anywhere I wanted to go. I had to let my mom and dad know where I was going and what time I would be back. And she had a job, but she had a job to where it wasn't doing any of those things. I could see my grandmother now and my grandfather taking their hands, and I could just see that. Oh, Roman Polanski. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And Bill Cosby wasn't the only one. He wasn't. And there was a lot of man, R. Kelly. Why weren't the parents arrested? I mean, when you look back and go through the interviews and you see the parents saying, "I knew nothing about it," you are a lie. Well, I can't say that you're a lie, but I would say the truth didn't hit you. The truth isn't coming out. But I, do I believe Bill Cosby did it? Yes, I do believe he did it. I believe he was complicit. I believe that it was just more than him doing that. I believe that there were some women that were down with it. Now, he was the gatekeeper to get into certain places to further their careers. Yes, yes. And that was what they did. They didn't have human resources. You couldn't go complain here. You couldn't go complain there. And it just was a wild thing. Yeah, that the way it was back then. Yes. That was like what, 60 years ago. Yeah. You had the United States on its way becoming a superpower. There was so much going on. So much. And 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 at that time, at the age of 18, he needed to be married. And that's what they did back then. He had to be married, and it was a cultural thing. But you had that underlying baby boomer thing saying, okay, this is how you're supposed to be. You cannot be out there taking birth control and living life wild, and you can't be throwing yourself out there. You have to have a low. You can't have your body count is 0. You are supposed to be a nun when you go outside. Elvis, Jerry Lee. Yes, yes. And when you go outside, you are supposed to be the pinnacle of purity. Now, the 60s was like, we don't want no purity. We want to have fun. We want to do this. I don't want to, none of those things. Oh, I'm talking about a little bit of everything right about now. I got to change the title. But Bill Cosby, yes, he did it. He did it, and other people did it. Now, wait until they start talking about what women do. It's not just men. Matter of fact, I remember my mom's ex at that time. Well, before he became her ex, he was in the military. Where was he, down in Florida? Someplace down south. And he said that one of the guys was kidnapped, and he was in a truck, and he went AWOL for like 2 days. He went out and he came back like 2 days later, and he was pushed out of a van at the military base, and the van left. This was back in what, the 70s, I think? 70, somewhere around there. I don't quite remember. And he said that a group of women got him, kidnapped him, and had their way with him. He said that he and a bunch of guys were walking up and down the highway. I'm not laughing at that. I mean, but I'm just remembering the way he said it. And he was walking on the highway and got kidnapped by some women and was touched in a way he shouldn't have been touched. And they didn't get permission, and they took his right to say yes or no. And what they did to keep him standing, I don't know what they did, but It was just completely wild. And he said he and a bunch of other guys were walking up and down the highway so they could have the same thing happen to them. I'm like, you're terrible. It was neat. Okay. Oh my goodness, Mikey, you are too much. You are too much. You are too much. As long as they pay me. Oh my goodness. You all are a mess. Oh my goodness. I need to start live streaming more at this time. But let's just talk about anything. I mean, I gotta change the topic anyway. I gotta change it to something a little different. But yeah. It's it's really, really something. Let me ask you. I did a video yesterday and I talked a little bit about it. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the royals over there in England, and one of the royals, Prince Andrew, has done some terrible things. He's been hanging around with John, how can I say his name? Because I get zinged. I don't want to get zinged for it. Podest O, and now his daughters want to be working royals, but they can't because of what their father did. Now, it's all over. Everybody knows what he did. He was dealing with a young girl that was car trafficked, and he had liberties with her because she was basically a slave, if you a mech slave, if you know what I mean. And now his daughters can't get a job within the Kensington Palace. So let me ask you, should that right there stop them from being able to work based on what their father did? Because King Charles doesn't want bad press, or by them doing anything that his brother and what he did will come up. What are your thoughts on that? Or do you know about it? Okay, I agree with you. King Charles most definitely has some problems with evil based on how he's treating his other son Harry. Yeah, that's that right there is pretty rough when you got a dad who acts like that. Okay. Oh, how many of you are familiar with that would have been the replacement for P. Diddy, Drake? How many of you are up on what's going on with him? Because I firmly believe that he was a replacement for P. Diddy, because P. Diddy wasn't bringing in more talent like he did back 25 years ago. He hasn't bringing in enough people, and he wasn't bringing in the product, he was destroying the product. So Drake, I believe that they have been grooming him to take his place for the past 10 years. Oh, yes. Yes. Kendrick Lamar did. Oh, my goodness. Woo. And that right there is a difference between an independent artist and an industry artist. Drake is an industry artist. P. Diddy is an industry artist. Kendrick Lamar is an independent artist. He just needs certain distributions to get his stuff out. Man, oh man, oh man, Kendrick Lamar. Look, there are just certain people who are good with the pen and who are good with rhymings, all those things. And some people believe that rappers are dumb. Oh no. Oh, you have to have a firm grasp of the English language in order to be able to do those things. Okay, okay, you've been looking into Scientology a little bit though. Okay, man. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Other rappers, yeah, they want to be him, but you got to look at some of the other rappers who write their own stuff. Now, it looks like Drake has ghostwriters. Drake Drake has no in my opinion, he should have stick with singing pop music. But when he got into rap, I'm like, nope. Every place he goes, he tries to adopt their lingo. I'm like, first, you're Canadian. You say what? J. Cole said, "I'm sorry." Yeah. Oh well, J. Cole. You should have known better. But it got to the point that you had other rap. Who was it? Busta Rhymes? It was a Busta Rhymes. Who was it? DMX didn't like Drake. He was like, he's not even real. He sounds like a West Coast, then he sounds like an East Coaster rapper, then he goes down to Jamaica, and then all of a sudden he sounds like a Jamaican, then he goes over to the UK, and all of a sudden he has an English accent. He was not true to anything that he did. He just simply was someone who latched on and tried to be that, package it, sell it, and make money off of it. I just thought that he just, but Kendrick most definitely did got him really good. I mean, in ways, and then on top of that, then he brings all that. Well, he was within that craziness up in Canada anyway, up there in Toronto. Somebody, his house, and his security guard got hit. I'm just like, that is wild. That is completely wild. Oh my goodness. I did not mean to spend as much time. DMX. Well, yeah, DMX did know. And I got to tell you, the same people that P. Diddy was around, Drake is around. Lucius Grains was P. Diddy's handler. I'm going to call him a handler. Clive Davis. They're also with Drake now. And I can see Drake probably doing the same type of parties that P. Diddy was doing. Just a thought. Doesn't mean that he's doing it. It's just a thought. Man, Drake, he just... I don't know if you saw my previous videos that I had, my shorts, that I said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose your soul? Second part of that scripture is, what does a man do to exchange? What does a man give up to exchange for a soul? Something along those lines. You're right, nothing. He did all of that. He did all that and gained nothing. Now, P. Diddy, he danced. He had a dance with the devil, and as he was dancing, when the dance stopped, he wound up with nothing. He lost everything. Everything he gained, he lost. In the tango, He did the tango dance, and as he's gaining everything, at the same time, he's losing it at the same time, but doesn't realize that he's losing it because he's gaining stuff and doesn't realize that when it's done, he's going to wind up with nothing. And you're absolutely right, Darren. Nothing. Not a thing. What a crazy thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what they want is basically your soul. And the thing is this is that people want fame and fortune. They want their names to be known. They want to be known around the world. See me, see me, see me. See me here, see me here. Just see me. Okay, now we see you. Now what? Big one was Madonna. She did everything. She did everything to gain attention. She wanted attention so bad. She was, where was she? She was in LA someplace, walking down the street, no clothes on. She was doing all of these things to get attention. Media finally said, okay, Madonna, here, what do you got to say? And this was back in the early 90s. Okay, Madonna, what do you got to say? And then she's like, nothing. I'm like, what? You did all that for what? Why did you do all that? I mean, it just was, she just became ridiculous. Yeah, at what a price? At what price? And it's like they're not ready to pay the price. The devil makes it look really nice. All of these wonderful things, you get these bags, you get these people. I mean, look, Cassie was in for the ride too. Look, okay. Certain parts of this, Cassie was no victim. In certain parts, because she left, what was his name? Ryan Hadley, her first manager, and they were together, and then it got to the point to where he fell for her. Ryan Hadley. And then she left him for P. Diddy because P. Diddy had more money and more to offer. But she wasn't looking at the ugly side. She just saw the cute package, all the fancy, the cars, all the money that he showered on her. He just gave her and gave her and gave her and didn't realize the ugly side of it that she couldn't get out. But if she would have stayed with the first guy, she would have been in a better position. He would have taken her places, but it wouldn't have been, actually, P. Diddy only cut one album and that was it. And she only, actually not even an album, a song. What's it called? Me and You? Yeah, Me and You. That was the only song that she did. But she would have done more with Ryan Ashley, whatever his name is. But she broke his heart. And she sold her soul along with P. Diddy. It's wild, it's wild, it's wild. But I did not mean to stay on as long as I did. Hey, please like, subscribe. This is one of these videos that just really has no rhyme or reason. I just wanted to ask a question. And I got a little bit more than I thought. And I do thank you for being honest. I do. I appreciate that. So like, subscribe. I'm trying to get the 5,000 subscribers. And monetized, but not monetized because one of the derangers didn't like one of the videos. And I know which one it was. I know which one it was. But, it is what it is. Please support me if you would like to. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, BigGirlDiary. That would help me get better equipment. I just got what I'm using now, my iPhone 13. Took forever to get it, but I got it. Okay, great. Thank you. Good night. Thank you for stopping by, because you could be anywhere in the world, which you are, but you're here with me right now, and I thank you for that. Bye-bye.